In this video, I'll run you through using ScanTo for the first time. First, I'll drag a PDF into ScanTo. This is a 2-page PDF, and ScanTo will search it for words and phrases that it understands, such as invoice number and total, and try to guess where those are in the document. We'll create a new document for this invoice. ScanTo has selected the best company name based on the words in the document, and the company is in your Spire database. You can give it any description or none at all. You can see that it found the invoice number, the due date, and the subtotal. We'll help it out by listing the total, the tax, and the date. There's no PO on this invoice, and if we don't select a term, it'll be the default for the customer. We can now process this invoice, and it's in Spire. Next, I'll open another PDF. We'll have to create a new document for this second invoice. We can give it a new name. And again, tell ScanTo where the values are. Here, ScanTo read 16.61, where the real value is 16.51. So we'll have to fix that. But if we didn't, I'll show you what happens. Let's pretend this is the PO number, just to get something in there. ScanTo will remember these places when it reads this type of invoice again. And we can see that we're off by 10 cents because the freight was interpreted incorrectly. And this invoice is now in Spire. Next, I will open the same document we opened earlier, and ScanTo will automatically determine that it understands this invoice. It'll open the first invoice we had last time and find the same values at the same locations. We can process this invoice again, and ScanTo will warn us about that. But instead, let's click this little arrow button and populate a secondary window which shows all the GL transactions that will be processed when we click this button. If we want to change the allocation or the accounts for this particular invoice, we can do that here. You can also add another account to split up this invoice. And again, process it and put it into Spire. One thing you may notice about this invoice is that the total is at the bottom under this variable length list of items. That means that these subtotals and totals will be at a different place on each invoice. To take care of that, and to make sure that ScanTo doesn't always look for these subtotals in the same spot relative to the first page, let's mark this whole block as being separate, as you might think of it as a floating block that can appear anywhere in the document. And now ScanTo will search for this independent of these numbers up here. ScanTo will select the best document based on the data it reads in your invoice. But if it guesses the wrong one, you can use this drop-down to select the right one. You can use this button to remove documents, which will remove all the information that ScanTo stores about the location of all these useful fields. You can create a new document with the plus sign, and you can also change what company you're working with in Spire.